One thing you learn if you're on the internet for more than 2 minutes is that people have different opinions on things. For example, one guy may like one thing that somebody else doesn't like. This is called life. However, one thing I think we can all agree on is that Minecraft is a pretty popular game. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past half-decade, you've at least heard of it. It is now the top-selling PC game of all time, and the 4th best-selling on any platform, even surpassing the original Super Mario Bros. And the top 3 were released last century or were bundled with the console, so it's pretty famous. However, the thing that people have different opinions on is whether or not it deserves the praise and success it gets. There are those who think it does and even consider it one of the best games ever made, there are those who dismiss it as mainstream crap that deserve none of the praise it gets, and there are those who are just sort of in the middle. So, my thoughts on the game? Instead of giving it to you straight like a normal person would, I'm going to give you an unnecessarily in-depth review on it. Depth. Can never say that right. Okay, we have a lot of ground to cover here. So this may be a longer review than what I normally do. Or maybe not. When you first start up the game, you're given 3 game mode options. Survival, Creative, and Hardcore. Survival mode is what it sounds like. Try to survive. Well, actually it's more complex than that. The ultimate goal to completing a survival world is to beat the Ender Dragon, the final boss. There's no intro sequence or anything like that, you're just sort of poofed into the world with absolutely no resources. You are Steve, a random guy who's trying not to die. This isn't going to be a survival guide for Minecraft or anything, just a basic overview. In the daytime, everything's fine and dandy, but once it gets dark, the monsters start going bump in the night, so build a house. There are zombies who basically just walk around and try to kill you, spiders who walk around and quickly try to kill you, skeletons who shoot arrows and try to kill you, endermen who warp around and ignore you unless you look into their eyes, then try to kill you, kind of like SCP-096 actually, except you can actually stop them. And creepers, by far the most iconic of the bunch. Their deal is that they try to suicide bomb you at night, but just sort of stand there at daytime. They can really ruin your day sometimes, especially when they blow up part of a structure you made. There are other enemies like witches, but I'll ignore them for now. So basically, if you don't want to die, build a house, make a bed, and close the frickin' door. There are 5 main types of tools in Minecraft. Pickaxes, swords, hoes, shovels, and axes. Shovels are for digging, axes for chopping wood, hoes for farming, swords for fighting, and pickaxes for mining. If that wasn't obvious before, I feel bad for you. Each of these tools come in wood, stone, iron, gold, and diamond form, each stronger than the last. Except for gold. Ironically, gold is actually not that useful in survival mode. Iron and coal are actually somewhat easy to find while mining. Redstone and lapis lazuli, however, are much harder to find, but again, they aren't very useful in survival mode. Redstone is used for contraption making, and lapis for coloring wool, which you can get from sheep. Diamond, however, is another story. You see, in order to reach the Ender Dragon, you'll need to find out where the stronghold is. In order to find out where the stronghold is, you'll need the Eyes of Ender, which you'll need blaze rods to create, which are found by killing blazes, nasty little boogers who hide in fortresses in the nether. A second world only accessible by creating another portal, which you need obsidian to do. Obsidian can only be mined by a diamond pickaxe. Yeah, it all sounds really complicated, which it is, but once you start playing it, you'll know what you're doing. Jeez, I'm 3 paragraphs in and I haven't explained crafting tables yet. That's it, I give up. There's no way I can make this review and a countdown both in time for Christmas. I'm just gonna tell you what I like about that game. Is that okay? Besides, Minecraft isn't a game where you first try out knowing how everything works. You learn how it works over time. That's my excuse anyways. One thing I really like is all the options you're given to better your experience. You can change the controls, adjust the graphics and frame rate if you're getting a lot of lag, turn on cheats, etc. Personally, I've always preferred using the arrow keys over WASD controls. I don't know, I just never got used to WASD, even though that's pretty much the way everyone else does it. A lot of people really like how in creative mode, you can make practically anything you want, especially with all the stuff you can do with redstone that has been added in more recent updates. Seriously, some of the stuff people have done is absolutely amazing. But for me, I've always preferred survival mode. The best moments in Minecraft, personally, is when you're exploring a cave or building a house, and then the music comes on. Ah yes, the music. Barring Paper Mario 2, Minecraft is my favorite soundtrack in any video game, and probably some of the best atmosphere. It's really something you won't understand unless you've actually played it. I'm not really a huge fan of the newer music, but it's not bad. There's also hardcore mode, where if you die, you have to start all over again, like an early NES game. You know, if you're into that kind of stuff. By far the coolest thing in Minecraft for me, though, are adventure maps. If you haven't heard of these, you're missing out. They're basically adventures in Minecraft you can download off the internet, each with its own specific goals and rules. Instead of just trying to survive, your main goal may be to escape from prison, or kill Herobrine or whatever. The most famous adventure map maker is Hypixel, creator of Herobrine's Mansion and Wrath of the Fallen, among others. But there are other good ones too. You can also create Minecraft servers in order to play online with your friends, and there are other much larger scale servers where hundreds of people can come on. I actually don't like most of these. You don't have very much freedom, and more often than not there isn't much to do, but there are many exceptions. Which leads me to the things I don't like about Minecraft. First and most importantly, the entirety of the Nether. Let me explain. Blazes, which may I remind you are mandatory for beating the game, aren't just scattered around the Nether randomly. No, that would be fair. They can only be found in Nether fortresses, which are extremely hard to find and annoying to navigate. It is incredibly easy to get lost in the Nether and forget where your Nether portal was. It's also filled to the brim with annoying enemies like ghasts who fly around and shoot fireballs at you. Even worse are the zombie pigmen, who won't harm you if you don't harm them. But if you do accidentally hit one, they all gang up on you and you're pretty much screwed. More often than not, I'm not even trying to attack them. They just get in the way while I'm mining or fighting a different enemy, and I get knocked into the lava by a horde of supernatural farm animals. Because they stupidly ran into my sword during a battle with a magma cube. Speaking of the lava, it is everywhere, so you need to be careful you don't fall in and lose all of the items you've been carrying. Good luck finding a Nether fortress under these conditions, especially on survival mode. This is why I turn cheats on. Also in the Nether there are wither skeletons, which aren't all that special, but they do occasionally give you wither skulls. If you collect 3 of these, you can fight the optional boss of Minecraft, the Wither. It's kinda cool actually. The only other problem in Minecraft for me personally are emeralds. Let me explain. Scattered throughout the map are multiple villages, where there are many villagers who will sell you stuff in exchange for emeralds. Here's the problem though. Emeralds are the rarest material in Minecraft and can only be found underneath villages. So by the time you're able to mine some, you're about halfway through the game and most of the stuff they sell you is completely useless by that point. You can trade in some extra stuff in exchange for emeralds as well, but most of these are horrible deals anyway. Alongside the normal world in the Nether, there is one more world in the game. After crafting Eyes of Ender and finding the Ender portal in the Stronghold, you're taken to the end, the last area in the game. This world isn't nearly as expansive as the other two, which is fine because it's reserved for the final boss. The Ender Dragon fight is one of my favorite moments of Minecraft and serves as the grand finale. The beast attacks by ramming into you rather than just breathing fire, but after taking damage, it regenerates health from Ender crystals atop pillars, which you need to destroy by firing arrows. You can also use ladders to try to climb up the pillar, but that usually doesn't work out too well. Once all the crystals are destroyed, you can finally finish it off. There are also Endermen everywhere, so be sure you don't cause any of them to attack you. That doesn't help too much. The funny thing is, if the Ender Dragon accidentally hits an Enderman, it'll turn hostile towards the dragon and start following it around. It's actually pretty hilarious. After you beat the Ender Dragon, a portal back to the main world appears, and so does the Ender Dragon egg, which doesn't actually do anything, it's just a cool prize for winning the game. You then get this really cool pre-credit sequence that I hesitate to spoil for you. Watch the actual credits, and end up back in your house. So all this info is fine and dandy, but what about the real question that's meant to be addressed here? Does Minecraft really deserve to be one of the biggest games of all time? To be honest, I think it does. I mean, it's not without its problems, but there is so much replayability here, it's insane. I mean, you have survival mode, creative mode, servers, adventure maps, hardcore mode. I probably played this game more than any other except for maybe Smash Brothers. There's just so much to do, it's so well designed, and to be honest, it has some of the best atmosphere in any game I've ever played, even rivaling Majora's Mask. The best parts of Minecraft for me aren't playing Hunger Games on a server or building a huge statue of Kirby on my friend's server, but when you're on survival mode at night, mining or standing on top of your house, and the music starts playing. It's just awesome for some reason. So yes, Minecraft does deserve to be the 4th best-selling game of all time. It does deserve to have the world crazy, and yes, it does deserve to have all these Minecraft parodies floating around YouTube. Okay, maybe not that last part, but you know what I'm talking about, Willis. If you fell asleep during the entirety of this video and missed everything, just walk away with this. Despite a few flaws, Minecraft is one of my favorite games of all time. There's just so much to do, it's inexpensive, and you can also get it on your Xbox, PlayStation, smartphone, or tablet. I highly recommend at least trying it out. It's not for everyone, but many consider it to be one of the best games of all time, including myself, so give it a chance. All those people who thought it was a stupid fad back in 2010 were wrong. I'm probably going to do a Let's Play of Minecraft somewhere near the future, and it's going to be long. Again, it's a very expansive game, and that's why I keep coming back to it. So until next time, take care. To celebrate the holidays, my next video will be a list of the top 5 snow levels.